Wow, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Hi guys, my name is John Mark and welcome to the Bottom Line podcast. I don't even know if I'd call this a podcast considering I don't even have a mic yet. We're getting there, we'll get there. But this is the first episode and I'm basically this podcast just to give you guys a gist of what my goal is for this podcast is basically I'm gonna be talking about experiences I've gone through, struggles, just, the whole list of being a 19 to 20-year-old in this day and age. Being in this generation, I feel like there are a lot of struggles that I feel like past generations and every generation has different struggles. I'm not deterring away from that. However, I do think that there are certain struggles within this day and age that I just feel like I want to address, and I feel like making this podcast is going to help not only me but also whoever's watching. I really hope that it gets to the right people, and if you needed some enlightenment, if you needed somebody to tell you you're not crazy, diva, I'm here for you. Before I get started, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is John Mark. I'm a 19-year-old. I was born and raised in the Philippines, and I moved to the US. Right now I'm in college and I'm majoring in fashion design. I've always loved fashion. Fashion's always been something that I've been very, very passionate about. And ever since I was a child, it's always been something that I was interested in. But I feel like when I was younger, when I mean younger, I don't mean I am young. But when I was younger, meaning when I was in first to third grade, I was definitely one of the kids that a lot of people don't understand. I was around 5 or 6. I feel like I was always told that guys should like this, girls should like this. Ever since I was younger, I always knew I liked dolls. I liked really girly things. I always found that appealing to me. And something that was always kind of thrown in my face when I was younger was to always find balance in those two things. With all honesty, I feel like you can't really you can't really tell a kid what they like. Either they like it or they don't like it. I didn't really think that there would be a point where I would genuinely be happy and confident with myself, because in your developing years, when you're so used to a certain image of you, people that would assume your character or just assume what you would end up like, I feel like those things definitely build into thoughts in your head where you kind of just don't realize that you actually start believing those things. I've always had this bone in my body that I knew I wanted to do fashion, and it was something that it really took it out of me to really believe in myself, to realize that this is something that I am actually good at. I had a conversation with someone I think this was a week ago, 2 weeks ago, where basically he was talking to me about how he's doing architecture. So he was telling me that whenever something, whether it's a color or a shape or whatever, when something doesn't make sense to us, it just truly doesn't make sense, and you can't make it make sense. Along with a lot of things being said about the choices I made with what I wanted my future to be, and a lot of other things that I would think about are just the way I was as a person, I guess. What I mean by that is I noticed I'm definitely way more confident than I was in the past, and I feel like that's such a normal thing to hear. Such a normal thing. I'm I'm only 19. Okay, I need to stop acting like I'm freaking like 30 or 35. I'm not queen. I'm 19. I'm just beginning. But more so from middle school, high school, I always felt like underdog kind of. I don't know if that's like the right term for it, but I always felt like I was definitely I fell under the category of like people that were very much like looked past a lot of the time. Definitely something that my younger self was feeling, and it's definitely real. You know, like you guys can say freaking anything about like, you know, you have to be confident and whatever, but there's a difference where other people are telling you to be confident, and it's another thing to actually be confident within yourself. That is the harsh truth. Not to make it sound like bitter or like assy of me, but like I think that so many people could tell me literally everything in the book, and I still wouldn't believe that I was worth certain things. Certain things made sense. It's very different for other people to tell you how you should feel about yourself. And it's taken me very, very long to really accept that. That's why it's taken me so long to even film something like this, or film me just talking to literally a camera, is because up until literally this summer, I feel like is the only summer I truly found happiness and confidence and self-assurance in literally 3 years. This is the one time that I've genuinely prioritized myself before anyone else, and I haven't felt like this in a really long time. The reason why, and I'm gonna just like take it back a little bit as to why I even say that, is because in the pandemic, you know, the whole world was basically on pause, and it was the first time that I actually got the time that I wasn't going to school. I wasn't like doing this like routinal thing every single day where I got up, got ready, went to school, came back home, did homework, went to sleep, did the same thing over and over again. And I only had the weekends where you don't really have crazy massive ideas like this on the weekends. Like I feel like on the weekends you just kind of chill and relax from the week that you just had. This is the first time I was given so much time to really think about the person I wanted to be, and how I viewed myself and stuff like that, right? Since it started along like 2020, since that's where it basically started, that was when I started thinking about how I wanted people to perceive me. This is where I started thinking about like, what can I do to improve certain aspects about myself? How do I feel happier with myself? What do I like now? What aligns with me? All those things were things I only really thought about within that time frame. So I started high school here where I'm from, and then, you know, like as the pandemic kept going, I did online school in that same school. And then after about a year of doing it, I was like, why don't I just completely move online? So I went from that jumping into online, like fully online school. There are some things to be said about that. For one, because it's online, I feel like, because like now we live in such a world where social media is like one thing that really, really matters to us, you can morph your social media into whatever you want people to see your life as, is what I'm saying. Even if it's not going to be how your life is in real life, if you have the means to make it look a certain way through a photo, all you need, literally all you need, and you can morph your life into whatever like visual thing you have concocted in your head. When I moved to school online, like just online, and I wasn't going in person to really see these people, I had more cover, I guess. I had more of like a boundary with these people. So the boundary was that I was able to basically make them think, this is just so gaslighty, basically make them think that my life was more put together than it actually was. No, it wasn't. I was going through a lot, and that's definitely something that will be shared another time, because I'm not trying to congest this podcast that much. But it was definitely like I had so much control over that. So I did online school for about 3 years. Not saying that I was not the same person, because like I try to be authentic as I can be with anyone that I meet, for the record. But I think it was more so like my social media, I was very I tried to basically glamorize it. And I was able to put a lot of my effort into doing that. It was definitely detrimental to my growth, putting myself in this mindset of like, people need to see this. If I want certain people to feel a certain type of way, I need them to see this, and crap like that. Okay, like it sucked. Like it really did suck. And one thing that I heavily regret is, and this is something that whenever I think about it, it just like really, really like, it gives me the chills and grinds my gears. And I know it's not that deep, but one thing that really bothers me is thinking that I spent 3 years with this mindset, and I spent 3 years never enjoying my life, but like putting so much effort into shoving a camera in front of my life. I spent all that time, and then when I inevitably went to school in person, that's when I started developing like, social skills with people, like in-person social skills, and then finding that confidence, being the person that I am and not trying to mask anything, still posting, still doing all that, but definitely posting more like content that I found more me than I have in a really long time. I finished my freshman year, and okay, we need to talk about college, because I'm sorry, but the fact that I went through 1 year and it just felt like I went through an entire lifetime of stuff happening. Like, it's crazy. I've gone through friendship breakups, people hating me for no reason, finding literally the people that I think that my life is going to be around, like I'm gonna have in my life for the rest of my life. Gone through literally like, I've gone through a lot of things within my freshman year that I didn't think I'd go through. And I think that's like a normality when it comes to college. I feel like everyone just says like, this is your new life, this is like a new thing for you, everything, you're gonna become the person that you're meant to be, all that stuff. It's so real. And the fact that I only experienced this in freshman year is just wild. I've gone through quite a bit, and I can get into those stories in another episode. I had a few people in my life, like within that time frame that I was in school, that, let's just say, were not the most beneficial for me. I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for people like that. I'm very grateful for situations like this happening, because then it teaches me like, hey, here's a better way to address certain things, and a better way to, accept these things happening, and also be happy with, the person that you are. I think what really sucks is that a lot of the reason why some of us think of ourselves in a certain light, we think it's just like a human nature like thing to listen to other people's opinions on you, and that can just be like, that can definitely have a lot to do with how you're perceived. Notice that when I had these people around, I was like, I felt so drained all the time. Like, I was so drained, I was exhausted. Like, I feel like now I can laugh at it. When you have that kind of negative energy, kind of making you feel like you're undeserving or bringing down your confidence, it actually shows on you. And that's what I find so crazy, is that you could have changed nothing about your life. You could change literally nothing about your routines, kept everything the same way. But if you have certain people like that in your life that make you feel like you can't, like, actually enjoy your own presence. It shows through you, and I feel like you'll start noticing it too. What's so funny is my roommate actually has a video of all of these random places that all of these random places that I was falling asleep in, right? And I'll explain why I'm bringing that up. Throughout that time, I knew that the reason why I was so exhausted was I think I was getting like emotionally drained from so many people that weren't meant to be in my life, that I didn't give myself any time. I didn't give time to myself. I didn't give time to people that genuinely cared. I was just being stubborn, and I wasn't allowing myself to pick me. We have moved past that. I know definitely I still have a lot more to go through. I have a lot more people to experience, and way more people that will make me feel different types of ways. Also, you guys, like anyone listening to this right now, so many people are going to come and go in your life, and that's okay. That's a lesson that needs to be taken in and used as a way to look at yourself differently and be like, I went through this, I got through this, and I should look at things in a different light rather than bring yourself down because this person left your life. It's taken me really, really long to accept the person that I am and really be happy with the person that I am. I always felt like the validation of other people really fueled me, and now, like, I don't think that it's something that I think I'm happy finding being myself, you know, and I feel like I've gone through a lot to get to this point. Like, you have to accept your small wins, you know. You have to be happy with your small wins and know that your small wins inevitably they lead to big victories. I think it's best to let things happen and grow from them. I think that that's definitely hard, like easier said than done, because I think in the moment we want to always know the future. We always want to know what happens in the future, and we want to know what inevitably what end game is, you know. We want to know what our life will entail, like it's 5 years, 6 years, like 15 years down the line. We want to know what happens. But I think accepting that, you know, your life went a direction you weren't expecting, accepting things like that just make you more of a confident person. It's how you learn and gain respect for yourself, for others, and yeah, that is the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys on the next episode of Bottom Line. Peace.